So it's under new business item B on our agenda.
I think it's roughly page 180.
It says 96.
Oh, 96, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Board. Tonight I'm here to speak about suggested changes to the 1819 handbook. Within the past 3 months, I've met with staff, parent group, and students regarding these suggested changes. Outcome from these meetings included changes to the final exam criteria, reshaping the tardy consequence chart, and eliminating the Saturday detentions. If you look at the first page, that we included a summary of major revisions. One item that we wanted to clear up under final exam exemptions is there was just a simple typo under science. Explore math, which is highlighted on your right, needed to line up with the science category. So that was just a simple change over, but something significant when we look at final exam exemptions for our seniors next year. So that made sure that that's shaped up. We also included language that was never included previously in our handbooks regarding students missing a semester exam. So this would be any student that may have been absent for that exam. That language was never included, so we wanted to include a statement that just informs students that if they are to miss a final exam, we do have makeup days. However, that absence needs to be verified by a parent to the administration or to the dean. And that verification process could be simply a phone call or a doctor's note or something similar to that. Once we verify that, the student will be able to make up that exam within the allotted makeup days or during the makeup periods built in the week following our winter break or at a scheduled time in the summer by appointment. And that would be done through the instructional chair and or the assistant principal of curriculum and instruction. We want to note on the missing exams that exam scores do make up a significant portion of the student's overall grade for the semester. So adding this policy will shore up just a procedure there that was lacking previously. Final exam policy, we had language included in there regarding electronic devices in the exam testing rooms. And what we did, we just highlighted it under final exams, under that language. Previously, it was under the electronic device area. We wanted to make sure that our students were well aware of the electronic policy procedure for exams. So that was just highlighted, included under the final exam policy. So that was just a change and move. Following that is student attendance at school-sponsored events, and we wanted to add suspension language in there. Obviously, we feel that participation in school-sponsored events is a privilege, and thus, if you are suspended within that semester, we will restrict attendance for events such as prom, dances, things like that. So we wanted to include that language.
Do you think that's an incentive, or, is that why we're doing it? Because we think people would care a little bit more if they couldn't go to a dance?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. The Saturday detention was removed. It was something that we weren't seeing real good progress on. We had declining numbers for my first couple of years. We would see attendance, if we scheduled out 15, we'd see maybe 1 or 2 students. So paying a staff member to come in on Saturday and only seeing a couple of kids benefit from that, we just looked at that as it's not a useful tool for an intervention. So then we supported that with increased interventions throughout the school day. So now we have a full-time person in our lunch detention room, so we're able to utilize that a little bit more. We're doing more of the restorative practices within meetings with the deans on a regular basis. So that's something that we're increasing in lieu of the Saturday detention, which has added benefits, I think, face-to-face benefits from just a student coming in on a Saturday. So,
Dave, if we circle back to the student attendance at a dance, are you saying that if a student got suspended on the first day of school, they couldn't go to the dance 3 months later at homecoming or something?
Yeah, it's for that semester. So if it's first semester, it'd be homecoming. Second semester, if they're a junior or senior, it would be prom. And that would be...
It's if they got a 1-day suspension or a 5-day suspension.
Correct. And that's going to be highlighted and presented out at our grade book assembly meetings at each semester.
Is that new?
Yeah.
Something that we just added. Correct.
So it seems quite extreme. Not only are you suspended, but now you are excluded from, a major event, especially if they're a senior. Is there a reason why it's so extreme?
Talking with the deans, we feel that, attendance at these events, specifically our dances and our prom, we have a lot of students at those events. We want to make sure that, that event not only is safe, but it's a privilege for all those students to attend and that they enjoy their time there. And so we feel that having kind of an added consequence for students, if they do get suspended, that they can't attend that, it's a definite privilege. We want to make sure that privilege is noted. So that's the reason behind it. It's also a procedure that we used at other schools that I've been in as well.
Just seems not instructional, but punitive. I could see if they were expelled, but one-day suspension. I could see if other mitigating experience, somebody makes a mistake, and then.
This is a first read anyways, correct, Dave?
Okay.
So we can discuss this a little bit more?
Yeah, we can bring this back, discuss a little bit further, maybe throw an added intervention, but before we go to the suspension or removal from the dance, so it's something we can talk about.
Or the other maybe alternative is think about, like you have in some other areas, that if you're suspended, you may be excluded from the dance. And, if a kid screws up one time on the first day of school and then he or she has perfect behavior for 3 months, maybe if you think, well, they'll be better if you go to the dance instead of being mad because they didn't go to the dance.
Is
Something.
there some kind of appeals process that?
Yeah, I think.
Just,
Something.
I wouldn't suggest
We can
don't
review
make
it.
it so rigid
Sure.
that you have some.
We can review this a little bit.
I mean, we've had
Absolutely.
students go to school for 4 years and it makes a crazy mistake, out of character, and then, what, you're gonna miss prom your senior year for something?
Just
Yeah.
would you give it some thought?
We need to allow administration to override something really crazy out of the ordinary. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so we'll bring that back and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
And we'll
Yeah.
and for the final read, then we'll bring those suggestions forth at that point. The last area here is tardy consequences. Really, what we did is everything is pretty much the same. Every third action is a consequence. So, 1, 2 is a warning. Third one is going to be an outcome. 4, 5 warning. 6 is an outcome. And those are assigned with consequences through the HERO system. One added feature that we added for next year going forward is once you hit that third outcome, you also lose 3 points from HERO. Our teachers have been doing a really good job of positive behavior interventions and giving kids points for doing great things in the classroom throughout the building. So if you are tired of class and it's happening 3 times, that's significant. Now you're going to lose some of those privileges that teachers are giving you from the points. And so maybe that week they can't go get a candy bar and lunch from us because they don't have enough points to get that. So that's why the HERO point system is included in there. And then we just realigned it and we took out the Saturdays and then included some of the other interventions that we're doing. I know a question came up, why are we waiting on the chart? It indicates at 21 or 24 we're calling the parent.
Yeah.
Every outcome, the parent's notified through an automated message. So they're already included in our notifications. And then we're also utilizing this data on our behavior team. And so at that point, we're reviewing all these behaviors. We rope the parent in and the student in throughout that process as well. So we're definitely, in communication with our parents as we go through the tardy system with
I
them.
don't think it's
So
very clear in it that you're notifying the parent each time.
How are the parents notified, Dave?
It's electronic at this point. It's an
Like through
automated
automated call or email?
notification through email.
Maybe just on the bottom where it says additional note at each warning. You have an updated tardy policy was developed.
And these are unexcused, right?
Correct.
Just maybe put that one sentence, this way you're not listing it 24 times. Parents will be notified at every step via automatic call or something.
The other question I asked is, so the third incidence, you lose 3 HERO points. The 6th incidence, do you lose 6 more or 3? So it's
6 total.
How many HERO points can kids get?
As many as they want.
Oh, so
They have
it's
to
like
use them
gets-
up
it
by the
gets-
semester.
Okay.
And we've been rolling them over actually for the year if they
Okay.
if they have a lot of points and they want to continue that. But then they turn them back in. So like in a couple of weeks we're going to start prom ticket sales. We have a prom raffle,
Okay.
and so students want to keep those points so they can put their name in for a free prom ticket, things like that. So
But I was thinking if you get up to like 10 tardies or 12, then you're giving up like 50 HERO points, right? Or something like-
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what it looks like.
We had a few other questions that you had submitted, or did we get
Because
them
it
all
happens
addressed pretty
before
much?
they
We addressed them.
Okay.
adjust the columns.
Any other questions?
I noticed the notifications come out before you get through all your your excused absences or excused tardies. I don't know if you can, because if you want to know what it looks like, here it is.
So it works.
You know, because Ruth was out of town and I called her in late. But before she could even get to school, I got the notification.
We clear it out, so you'll get the notification, but
Okay.
then we'll clear that out once we have, either a phone call that comes in or paperwork. Like a lot of students get, they go to the dentist early for orthodontial work or what have you.
Right.
Then we'll just clear that off once we see it. So, although it may seem to you that yes, they get marked for the tardy, there's no way around it. We'll have to then excuse it out, and then that's null and void then. So they'll be back to 0.
Thanks, Dave.
All right,
Do you have
thank
anything else to report? Well, before you leave, does anybody have any questions, Wes?
Nope, I don't.
Other side? Thank you.
Thank you.